Tansei, Tansei. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? I'm coming on live to you. I'm Elder Medicine Gertla. I greet you to my channel, and we need to discuss how we speak with the Satanga, the Bigfoots, or is there things that transform into certain animals are very confusing. Hello, Betsy. How are you? Also, I got a message about someone was curious because there has been things caught on cameras from their home cameras in that area and how they don't understand. And this is close to my area too. So, say Henry, thank you for joining. If anybody want to come on, they can. The link is there. Also, I am going to help understand what things can be when you want to communicate. So, if you feel that you're planning to go up to the forest, to the woods, the mountains. Now, mountains, okay, those are mountains, okay, people. And when you want to communicate, you say, hi, hi, Satanga, greetings, my love is pure. And you say the same thing. So when you want to ask if they would like to eat, and then gather food. Now, when you are, okay, I'm going to do me because this is how I know me. And those who want to learn more of the sign language is to communicate. Ouch. I will sit on my stump and I will speak in my native language. Sometimes I throw English in there. I always say beautiful mountains. You can use two fingers or you can go like this, one finger. I will say Satanga, Nikualaiste, meaning, how are you? I am good. Different people say when you do this, it means mad. No, not in our language. Mad means here, or mad, or mad. No. But you want us, I'm good. I'm good. Now, when I'm saying to them, I brought food, fish, water, candy, and you would either hear them, ooh, ooh, like that. They're happy. So when you are willing to understand them, because they'll go, they do hand claps. I do rock claps, I do hand claps. I don't hit the trees because to me, the trees are sacred. They're energy, and it's important to have. And they speak to us. And it's important that, you know, we already take from the tree to make homes. Now, when you tell them the food, you say, food, come, come. They won't come right away. You have to walk away. You can't say, um, the food's there, 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 and then you walk away. Okay. It is important that you learn to walk away so they can get the food to eat. You can tell them you brought drink, 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 because I do. I bring them frozen, half water, half Sprite, or 7 Up with fruit in it. um, the papers and stuff, I always grab. Um, I'll come back another time. But time, time, time to go. If you, this is me again. You sit, as I already put the food down, I always say, much love, think worldly of you, of you. I'm going to walk away. Okay. And I will go and I say, wait. And they read me what I'm saying, and it's actually a prayer for them. And I tell them, thank you. And to hide from humans. But that I'm only here just to observe and help you. Then I walk away. And then I enjoy the scenery. Sun wave. Thank you. Why my squirrels were brave with the Bigfoots? The squirrels are there are like communicators. They will, the squirrels, they chatter and let you know. And their chatter is very loud, the noise. Then as I walk away and I'm doing a prayer, still I put out the back door. Not a lot, just like a pinch. And then I'll go my way and I will say, I don't have camera, camera or video. I don't have for you. Um, I will stay in the mountains around and then I will come back. So I hope that helps you. If there's anything else you want to know, you let me know. There's been told that many crawlers have been coming out. Now, crawlers could be many different things. So, um, here in the mountain by Fresno, they said that yes, there is something crawler, and it came from the mountains that way, which is if you go over the mountain, then there are Mexico's kind of that way, but it's still far away. It's like 10 hours. I mean, we're not even close to the border or anything here. But they say that there is like something crawling, because a friend of my husband's from Fresno saying that the camera caught something like crawling on all fours. Now we said it could be how the it does it, but he told my husband it didn't have, it wasn't really white or grayish. It kind of looked like dark. And then when he was showing us the video um, on his wife's phone, and then the video on his computer, I'm like, well, you know what? It kind of does look like the Monacaya. It's they say the spirit that floats around that turns into something. It shapes into like a mountain lion. But when it comes to residents, it's also can be something else. But again, I said I can't really see it as good, so I cannot tell you because it's really blurry and it was dark. You see a light here and a light here, but it's from the distance. I said maybe it's a chavacala, which is a wild, like horse. No, I mean dog. Excuse me, horse. I'm thinking, um, because they said that when they looked more into it, and I said, many things come in different forms if it's a shapeshifter, and that would be an it. So things will be a lot more scary if you were near an it, because they will completely, it will freeze you. That's what it'll do. I don't know if anyone understands what I'm saying unless you have seen it. Yes, there are many here in the United States, other countries. Um, they do come in different sizes. The way they smell, it's like death. If you had smelled like a dead animal, it's like 10 times the smell. And they will act like it's dead, and they will crawl too, and they can shift into, again, mountain lions, a wolf, a dog. So you actually have to be careful. And what it does is when you look at that, look at the eyes of the animal to see if it's the color that the animal's eyes is. Because if it's not, then it's an it that shift. Some people had been asking me, why are they here? They've been here many times. They live undergrounds, deep in the caves. They like the cold. Um, Now the Satangas don't like them. They do not communicate at all. Someone says, well, I think they shift into, no, because it has a high energy, the Satangas have. Okay, squirrels are very fussy about the area. You walk in and a deer goes through and goes up. Yes. They chatter. They're like deer. They will give you like warnings. Online, I've been searching right hunt bodies. A lot of fours so far. A lot of things on internet is what a lot of people imagine to say, but I do know that Dr. Kukla, he's also like a scientist, and he has spoken to many of us about when we reached out to ask him different questions about the creatures, and what was his opinion, because indigenous natives have a lot. We believe that our spirit from other indigenous continue to walk among this world, and they have been hurt by many people. So And I continue on and letting you guys know why many things are here. I get asked many times, how do you understand, or how can we speak to it? When you speak to a satanga, talk to it freely, like you're talking to your friend, or uh, like you haven't seen your friend in years, and how excited, hey, bro, how are you? They're like that very high energy, and you would feel their energy, even if it's 50 yards away. You would feel, okay, is this a good area? Because I can feel you. Um, I want to, is it all right? I touch this tree. I'm going to feel the tree. And I say, tree, help me give the best energy to speak with them. The tree will help you. You got to remember the tree's energies are very high. They can give you energy too. Um, they can also give you water. If you have good teeth, you can eat the bark to help you. How to kill shapeshifter and what they eat. Shapeshifters will eat raw meat. Humans, cattle. Um, I've heard some horses, hens, but I've never heard of actually. I've heard a rumor that went around saying a human, but I didn't believe it because I couldn't feel it. But I will say this, they do eat raw meat. And it's also when an it or a wingalo comes around, you would smell it. The wingalos has the rats. And it would also, you can tell because their eyes are red. Howdy, y'all. God bless. On the road listening. Thank you, John. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Let me go ahead and introduce myself again, since I do have people in here and people watching and just coming in and out as they do. I am Elder Medicine Bear Claw. They call me Mama Bear Claw, excuse me. I hope everyone is doing well. I got a few requests to how were they able to sign and always come to agreement to speak to Satangas. Now, like I said, you can either just talk to them or you can do the signing to understand each other. So I do. I speak my language and sign. So others feel comfortable enough to do it. Many blessings for you on that. They say, how do the dogs do it? The dogs do. They understand. And they will greet you too. Now, somebody was asking me, is it true that there is, like, in the swamp, how do you say, the creature in the swamp? I said there is. Is it a fish, or is it something you're not understanding? Dansei, greetings, OCST, Harold and Christy. Many blessings. Thank you for joining. They were also asking about the moth. And then they asked me, well, why are there so many orbs around? Orbs can be many things. It could be the Bigfoot. It can be a good spirit or bad spirit. It could be one that has asked to be an orb, which is a native. And also, you can also see a native walking in the forest or the woods. You can also see a woman, and half of the time, when it is a woman, and you see her being all grayish in like a cloth from the old days, then be careful because that can be an it. It will shift into something, or what I do is I really concentrate and look to see, because when I'm on the tree sitting there and I'm focusing what is around and then I see it, I really want to know if it's truly an it or not. Because Mama Rainfeather used to tell me that when many different it transform, it will try to mimic and have you follow, and then it gets you confused. And when you feel confused, then I would like you to take out your bag and eat the bear root. Now, taking a little piece of the bear root out is good. You also need to drink water, and then you can drink hard candy or chew gum. But a hard candy is better. So that way it is going down with the bear root and it can get you unconfused. It's important that if you are in the woods, in the forest, and you're starting to feel a little confused, please hold your bag, smell it, and get the bear root out. Not going to do it every time. No, it's not every time, because you're not sure of who and what it is really out there. Until you come across and you feel something very unsettled, it will. You would know. Um, does anyone want to join me on the board here? What are Bigfoots doing with orbs? Are the orbs their way of spying? Yes, I will say yes. They turn into orbs, like they cloak into the trees, and they do come because they want to know how the people, humans, are. They are curious, and believe me, there's many that will try to follow you home, and their intentions is just to observe. It's not to harm you. Either you have come to the area and have seen in their area and try to corner them or try to film them. Film, you've got to realize that when they come, you tell them, you're not welcome in my home. In my home. You're not welcome. You're welcome in the area, but never inside. But you'll see them looking through your windows. You'll see different prints, and they're not going to be like ours. They're different. Excuse me. Ah, hi. Say many blessings to everyone for a beautiful and healthy day. I am feeling a little under the weather today, but nothing can unhandle myself. I will pray for you and hope everything's well. My dad made a visit one year after he passed in an orb form. He healed my mom, and when she said a bad case, I had his face, and it's very true. Many, many, many A lot of us do say that my dad showed his face to me just before he took the picture. Um, we indigenous natives do believe that we come back to be with our loved ones. And when a loved one passes, it hurts our hearts, especially if it's your partner. And you've been with that partner for over 40, 50 years. And it it hurts so deeply that sometimes, we tell the creator, I'm ready, I'm ready. But then the children suffer. Or if you have a cat or a dog, they will say the same thing. They're hurting. And the reason why I say this is because, and it's very true, I had to get some of my relatives prepared. Because when I did my uncle's service in Salinas, California, he he loved his wife, my aunt Libby, and she started going to church and praying more and more over the years, and she had changed. And all the kids were happy. Some lived down the street, some lived somewhere else, and they said, "Oh, when she passed, we seen Mom walking. Let's call our cousin Berko." They called me and they asked me, "Is it true that I don't remember?" They said, "I don't remember our doing our culture." I'm like, "Well, if you feel that is your mom, did you see her face?" Yes, I saw her face. And when you, Sparky, good morning, Tansei, my friend. Thank you for joining. Soundwave, Bob and Maddie, JP. Oh, thank you guys for joining. And I said, okay, I want to go visit because I felt my uncle in me. And I told my husband, we need to take a drive. Okay, we took a drive, went out there. We got there early in the morning because my uncle's an early man. I looked at him and I said, "No nesta kaisho komayente." He says, "I forgot how to speak my language. Say it in English." I said, "I'm sorry, uncle. How are you? It is good to see you. I see you wearing your moccasins." He says, "Yes." He says, "I'm done." I hold his hand and I felt, yes, he was done. I hold his hand, told him how much I loved him, and thank you for being my mother's little brother. He says, there's Auntie's been walking these streets. I need to find her. I said, okay, you will. You will help guide her back to you. He says, I saw my mother, my grandmother. I said, Niwash Nikiyana Takai, my great grandmother and my grandmother. And he says, it's time. I said, well, then let me smudge the house and smudge you for to continue your new journey home. And after smudging him, I smudged myself, smudged him, smudged my husband, and then I smudged my cousin because that's my uncle's stepson. And he said, he goes, I'm glad at least some of us still believe in our history and my culture. And then I looked at my uncle and it says, I know tomorrow you will leave and it's going to be quiet. The children are going to take it hard, but you will be happy. I smashed his little weenie dog, Noodles. I looked at Noodles and I said, "Oh Lord, he's gonna take you." I felt that he was ready too. Well, the next day, after we ate and everything, I said goodbye. And when I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning for my Zoom meeting, I felt him. I felt the dog left first, and then my uncle. And then I called my cousin, Monica, and Chana. And I said, "Hey, Chana, my uncle," she said, "Yes, he just did like an hour ago." But it's so funny, the dog died first, and my dad was like, "Why are you going before me?" He wanted to save him a spot. I told my cousin this, I knew it, I felt it, and she goes, "I know, he told us that you went over there and prayed over him." She says, "Why is there a stone next to his bed?" I said, "That stone is for him to go in his coffin." He had that stone from my mother. That was her gift to him. They wanted to throw a rock into the river one more time. He would throw it, she would know, and she would come for him. And that's happened. I do believe a lot of our family spirits are around us, and they're there for a reason, because you have to understand, family is close. Even you have disagreements. It could be a certain, the first cousins, the second cousin, the third cousins, or your aunt or your uncle or your grandparents or your great grandparents. You got to remember, the ones who taught you many ways is important. Even if it's been past and you're now in your old age, it's never too late to teach the young. All these youngs with baggy pants. I don't know half of these people in the world, but I tell them, pick up your pants, have respect. They get mad and want to make signs. My husband doesn't like me doing it, but I still do. I open the car, I stand up, pull your pants up. I don't care who you are, if or I don't know you or not. Other people don't want to see your behind. It is unnecessary. The girl that was next to him, she looked at me and said, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm an elder from a different world, and I want to give you respect." I do have a guest that just popped in, and I had no idea my son was here. I knew somebody was coming. I did not know who. It's Adam here, and I'll catch up. Danse, uniaste mohe.
Hello, everybody. Boy, Sensei Sangha.
Everybody, I'm sure you all know my son Sangha. Aw, Robin.
Anything new today?
What's up, son?
Is there anything new going on today?
I'm just teaching those to how to sign when you're speaking to the satangas, and understand what is around, able to have the communication.
There's an easy one. You just point to your eye because that way they know it's an I. And then love, and then you.
Mm,
Or
very
nowadays
true.
people do it like this. They do the little heart. You
All
know,
my little hummingbirds they're coming back.
yeah, it's definitely starting to warm up here. That's for sure. That's a blessing. The winter time's going away.
Yes, many people I have told way before winter was coming, change is coming, and storms were going to be heading back east. But it's important that you have enough to survive until things started melting or calming down. Because it is important that many of us do understand. I seen a dog started jumping. I'm like, what is it jumping at?
I seen your live stream yesterday. Your live, I think it was from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In your background, right when Griff came on, uh, you were talking to him. He said, "Thank you for having me," or something like that. In the back screen of your wall, you can see a big shadow go across.
That was my Satanga. He's here.
Plus that
They're
white light. Remember that white light I keep telling you over there to the side? That came in first when he was coming in, and then Griff was talking for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, if you watch the back screen go across the wall, you can see a big shadow go across, big dark shadow.
Yeah, he was trying to cup his head because I told him I'm gonna have a background and don't come in. And he kept coming like this. And I could see his face. There was two people that could see his face. And they're like, I see him trying to come in. Now believe me, like I said, many Satangas that know you, it takes trust and patience. And if you had already made that contact, eye contact, then you are marked. Then that Satanga will stay with you and explain to the others out there that this is a good one. This is a purified person that will understand us. It will not bring no harm to them. And you will start having their clan come close to you to, sit and observe what's around. I was trying to explain more and more so people
Yeah,
can.
they do that, but the thing is they do that with me or whatever, with my with my experience and all that, and hanging out with them and all that. But they don't uncloak. They stay cloaked all the time. Like when they're sitting around you and all that, and they're touching your hands, their hands. They don't. I don't get why they won't go into the body form.
Sometimes it's because other people in your home and they're not sure how they react, their real react, because it can cause a heart attack. It can cause a person to go into a seizure. So it is important that only one can, and slowly, and it takes years. Remember, I'm telling you, it takes years.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it
That
for years, so yeah. You got to build the trust up with them first.
yes,
They got to
you
really, they
have.
got to really be able to trust you, and then I think a lot of times they don't do the uncloaking too, is because that's why I try to go out with no cameras. It's because they don't do it on camera. They don't want to be on camera when they uncloak and all that when they're right there hanging out with you. And I don't think they trust me enough with the camera thing yet.
There's many different sapangas around this world, and I try to let others know. Um, they all don't have a neck, and a person kept telling me they have a neck. No, they don't.
They have a net.
Yeah.
Well, I it's been proven or whatever through like all the stuff, whatever they say they don't.
Mhm.
Because if they had a neck, I mean, obviously they have to have something there to hold it, But the thing is their neck is tucked into their chest or whatever, so that's why they have to turn sideways to look because it's into their thing. So they can't just do like us and then turn around or whatever. They have to actually take their whole body to look. So it's been proven. But I think if people are seeing something with the neck, they're not seeing the Bigfoot. They're seeing the hybrid. They're seeing the Bigfoot and the dog looking thing.
The
There's
dog will always continue to be partner with the Bigfoot.
well, people are getting it mixed up though. They're thinking that when they thinking that they're seeing the dog man, but the dog man has a tail. See, and then the ones that other people are reporting, which I've been telling everybody, is a hybrid Sasquatch which is like a Bigfoot and a dog man mix, which is like almost like a, the way to describe it is like a werewolf, but it doesn't have no tail, but it looks just like a Bigfoot, it does everything like a Bigfoot, and it has the snout. Some of them don't have like real big snouts. They, you know, they look like more like a dog. They might look like a, what's that one, like a Sharpei, or one of them little dogs, you know, that has the flat nose. They don't always have the big nose.
A pudge.
Yeah, like a pudge. Yeah, like you know how they got the flat nose, the flat face. That's what they look like. And then I talk, try and tell people whatever. They always think when they say they see Sasquatch or whatever, they always compare them to a gorilla or an ape or something like that. But the thing is you're not really looking at that Sasquatch thing. Yeah, it has characteristics of an ape or a gorilla, but they look more humanish in the face. It looks like a human face. They
You
all look.
know,
None of them look alike.
um, Henry has a question. Question: when they go invisible, if they are close, are we very dosed with radiation? No, I didn't check where I saw them, and I had to turn the chest, and that's how to look at them. They'll cloak if they do not, because they don't trust people, humans. They do not trust.
On the
Um,
radiation part, though, me and Josh in Squatch Topic PA, he bought a you guys know that Geiger counter or whatever they call that thing, whatever does the radiation testing and all that. Songa has one here too, because I was wondering the same thing. Like when I see the aliens and the Bigfoots, are they really giving off the radiation and all that? Um, I never got it to go off like that when they're around and all that and they're cloaked and all that. Josh, I don't think Josh has either because he's never told me that hey we had high levels that could kill us and hurt us and all that. Now when you get into the other part, the other aspect, they say at Skinwalker Ranch, everybody knows that channel. You know, like people that like the
you said
cryptid.
it. You said
Uh,
the word. You said the
oh,
word.
but that's the name of the show. Anyway,
True.
at the it show, okay, they say when that entity comes around and gives off radiation. So if you're getting levels of radiation, you might want to keep an eye out for the it.
This the it does have radiation. The Earth has radiation, but you gotta know and understand the frequency if it's a high dose or a low dose. It is many times in the woods and in the forest, and other people are not understanding what it is.
15 you know about 15 being out bikinis and shorts.
Well, in our ledgers, it says that there is many things on Earth that are very high radiation, and that we still are trying to investigate what makes it. Now, the it's very known that Utah has a lot of radiation out there, but many have said that they've seen too many star people. But again, I got a question as, are the star people and the its communicating together? Or is it an alien, which are star peoples, shifting into an it?
I mean,
And
it
that
could
is,
be. They say that people believe that the Santungas can shapeshift into animals and all that, which I kind of have a belief in that too. Whatever that they can be there, whatever, and then all of a sudden they're a deer or a squirrel or a chickmunk or something. They want you to, you know, so that way you feel comfortable when they're around spying on you. Because I see creatures all the time around my house like that. And then I also have a feeling that the it can shift change and all that to different things and the humans and all that. They try to make it where you feel comfortable around them. so they can get closer to you. So I
Henry
think
says
the aliens
we
can
are
too.
seeing dead spots in the mask of Bigfoot spots. The tree structures area are all dead trees, no growth, ex bush, green does grow. Things will reupon again, and trees, it takes time because they're very high energy, and for them to live, you have to allow the seed, even like the fires we've had here in the mountain, which was man-made. And I said many years ago that they continue to do this for a purpose. And I'm not trying to downgrade military or government, because I do have family that are in the military. I I tell them my opinion is my opinion, and you work for whoever. But it is important that we know the surroundings. Now, many of us still can investigate different areas because we're still interested in what's going on. Now, again, in our ledgers, we want to make sure that many relatives are safe in different areas. Now that some have moved out of the res, some are going into different states to just to live. Then all of a sudden they're starting to feel and see things, and then they want to know, are the people the same thing, going through the same? Yes, they are.
Well,
And
I
then
know
when
when
you
I was doing the out calls or whatever, somebody said that was calling the Wendigo in, or the it,
calling the
and
it,
a native friend of mine, my mama, told me that there was a group out there that was doing the same thing, and that every time they would do the out call, it would call the it in. And for me to stop doing it because I was welcoming it in. After I did that, you guys notice it's been staying out of the hotspot. But the thing is, I was watching another channel, another native that ain't associated with us, was doing the same thing, was doing out calls, and the native told them, the other research group, hey, stop doing the out call, you're calling the it in. So they were having the same symptoms as I was, the same thing that was going on with my hotspot, they were having at their spot. And once they stopped that and they blessed the land and all that and pushed it out, they ain't been having it back there either. So that out call will call on it in. So if you're out there doing the out calls or whatever, you might want to think twice about doing it. And whistling is calling it in too. So that's why you don't see me whistle no more on the channel. Every now and then I'll do it, like if I'm leaving out or whatever. But then Mama gets mad because she's like, "You're calling it into the spot again," you know.
I'll start throwing twigs or little pebbles.
Yeah, people throw sticks too. I get sticks thrown at me all the time. You guys see it, pictures in the live stream, whatever. CP crops it where it's going across the screen in front of me. I always get
Mama,
rocks thrown.
Mama Rainfeather would always, um, CP caught her in a couple pictures, and I said she does roam the area. She comes here and speaks. When I'm sitting and I'm meditating, she shows up and she tells me things are changing in certain areas that we had investigated. She has investigated, and she would tell me, let them know this is what's going on. Remember to tell our sons this has not to be called. Do not do this. This is better this way. Excuse me. But I can't tell people what to do in their channel. I can advise them. But if you do it once in a while, okay. But you know, if you start feeling something in your gut, I ask you to hold your bags. Hold your bag. Smell it, because you do not want to get zapped. You do not want to get lingering in, because this is what exactly they will do. The
Yeah,
evil can smell you for miles. and it will send vibrations out. And it could get your partner that's next to you that might be maybe 10 feet away from you, and all of a sudden he's got it, and he's going in circles, or he's going to a different path, and you're like, no, don't do that. Don't
I
do that.
tell everybody all the time, whatever, to be careful when they're in the woods and to get medicine bags if you're doing this. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going out Sasquatch hunting. They're just starting channels. I'm like, that's cool. But get into your cryptids, get into aliens, get into dogman, get into werewolves, get into all the little mythical creatures, fairies, gnomes, all that. Because you're going to start seeing all the stuff around the Bigfoots. They all hang together. Granted, they don't come from the same dimensions and all that, but they hang together. Like when they come here, they all hang together. They're all in the same area. I don't know if they actually talk to each other, but I know the Bigfoots and Dogmans hang out. But I don't. It's just weird that they're all together. So when I catch them in pictures and stuff, it's usually the aliens right there with the Bigfoots, the fairies right there with
There's
the
there
Bigfoots,
there is
Dogmans,
many star people. We call them star watchers, the one that live on Earth. They're the star watchers.
which are like the
They
greatest bluish ones.
they are the ones that live in the forests or the mountains or the woods. They're the
Mm.
ones that will. They're learning how what creatures are there to communicate the proper way, if it's good or bad. But when you start seeing the star people going back and forth and hovering around, and then you start here comes uh, a plane or a helicopter, because there been so many activities going on that many people are not paying attention. Now, try to remember, okay, how many times has this helicopter or this plane been going back and forth?
You talking about
That
like ones that are blacked out, like all the way blacked out?
Mhm.
I have pictures of them on the channel. Like I have pictures pictures on the channel on the group page or whatever of them blacked out military ones. They're all blacked out. They don't have no lights at nighttime or nothing. So what are they looking for? What are they
You
doing?
have to understand what are they
Yellowstone
doing.
says that they see them all the time, and they've been having these big black crates or whatever that they don't have. There's no way to get into them. That's what they say or whatever. But then when people are spying on them, they see them open up and they see this alien entity thing coming up that's cloning. They've been seeing them
Right.
catch werewolves and dogmans, and
Robin
that's a
says, I don't like it that some of the people that are starting to investigate to use what calls the death whistle. Yes, that is right. That's what is called a death whistle. Every time I cover my ears, I won't listen.
she's
You
talking
can
about that
tell
one that says shell.
the I know there's channels that do it, and they have asked me, can you please come out with us and see, if you're going to be doing something, I don't want to be on there,
I,
because I
I
don't
was
want to
asking
be
you
one
about
of
that.
them.
Remember?
I do not want to be stuck somewhere and I can't come back home.
I was like, "Hey, Mama, can you give me a death whistle? Because I want to try to do it at a graveyard and all that." And she was like, "You get no
No.
part of that." Because
No.
what it does is the death whistle gives off low frequency decibels or whatever, and that's what irritates the spirits and all that. Which is the same thing I thought I could use for the Suntungas and all that to get them to react. Because see, I found out how they communicate. They communicate with low frequency, low decibels, and it's like almost like when you hear a microwave kick on, you can hear it hum and all that. Well, that's the same thing that the Bigfoots do. They use it below our ear rate where we can't hear it, so they're using low frequencies, and that's how they communicate and growl at each other and talk to each other. And basically, I think that's how they mind speak, and that's how they give off vibes that that they're, like if you're in the woods, you feel like something's watching you. That's that certain frequency, that certain vibe they give off. So if I could
Sound
think
wave says, what the star, yeah, I guess he meant, what does the star people eat?
strawberry ice cream, Teddy Roosevelt, strawberry ice cream.
The star people, that from what I was told by many ancestors, that they eat whatever it is the planet has. What we have on Earth, it could be
Humans.
worms, berries, wild berries, pine nuts. Um, I haven't heard about a human, so I mean, I'm looking at
Chocolate.
legend.
Do you squash chocolate?
Uh, I do not know, but
I
I
don't know. They always
know
want the some Tongas
they
always want
tell
sweet
you.
stuff. So
Um, Sparky says, always trust your gut with cryptids and predators. You do, but how can you if you are confused? So are you zapped? Now, again, and this is what has been known for many years with our ancestors. Take a bite of the bare root.
keep an apple with you.
Keep an apple, hard candy, or even a
Yeah, hard
banana. Even
candy.
that banana is getting, because when you're walking and you have a banana and it's sealed inside your bag, it starts, you know how the banana gets a little brownish on the skin. It's still
Yeah.
good. And you know, you can even eat the banana peels
Well,
because
you
that
could.
helps the inflammation inside your body.
Yeah, you can even get the dehydrated ones too. Mine put in your bag and they'll
Mhm.
stay fresh forever. So because they're already
Banana
dehydrated.
chips.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the dehydrated ones. Yeah. Yep.
Um, I usually do that too. I usually take dry bananas and berries and certain crackers and stuff. But when you're out in the field, that's what people call it, boots on the ground. When you're out investigating, you also gotta remember to you want to enjoy yourself. If you're not going to enjoy yourself, then you might not get a peekaboo. But if you're out there and you're recording, you know, they know what you're after. They know you want to have some kind of evidence that they are there. And you know that they want something to show to other people. But if you want to really have a good communication with a satanga, then you need to have it one on one first. Or it could be many of them, but you and them first before the whole crew. Because you're going to go investigate during the day and you want to know, you got to pinpoint your map. And that way you know how to, from walking in and coming out, if you're going to do a night investigation.
Are
Yes,
you supposed
there's
to do
some,
that first?
huh?
I just went in at nighttime.
Well, some people are different. You know, channels, many different channels. I can name off 50,
No, I'm just playing.
but
I went
I
in
just,
daytime and then turned into night.
you gotta,
You do need to know your area though,
yes.
because
And
you
it's
there's dangerous
safety for
things you
you.
can step on. You can walk off cliffs. You can all crazy stuff. So you do need to know your area. And some people that do know their area, stuff still happens because it's nighttime. So you do need to know
Um,
your area.
when you want to understand the trees, the orbs, there are many different creatures are out there. And they want to know how you remember they can read your memory bank when you were a kid.
Oh, they can go
They
back that far.
yeah, they can go back.
Oh wow.
They will see if you are fully trusted.
So they go in and check see how pure your heart is.
Yes. Then they might give you sightings. they'll give you direction. I know that many I have spoken to many different ones, and they've told me, you have sadness. True. And I tell them, I says, if you want to speak with me, I will sit calmly and close my eyes, and you can speak with me because I trust you. Now, mind you, there are other Satangas, Bigfoots that are aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
and there
That's
is a
true.
reason why they are aggressive.
Yeah, because humans try to kill him.
Now, we have a tribal, we have a couple of tribals that honor the Satangas and give them grace and tell them, we respect you. Many of us have tried to be exactly like they are. We cannot, but we can show them the kindness of us and how we are. And they will also feel the other side of the anger. So that's why you have to be careful.
True.
Okay. Mama Bear Claw. This is from Bob and Maddie. How can you tell when you have been zapped?
I can tell him what happened to me if you want.
You've been zapped. I haven't.
You can tell him
As
I
much as
got
I've been
experience in it.
out in the field, um, I've gotten a little confused, but not zapped.
See, me and Chris or whatever, we were in the back part of where we first started feeding, where I call the bait pile or gifting pile, or whatever. We were back there in the back, and we didn't have medicine bags, and we were coming around or whatever, and all of a sudden, we've been in the spot probably a good 100 times or so. We were coming through the spot, and it was nighttime, and then all of a sudden, we got zapped or whatever. And what it feels like all your energy, it almost feels like you're going to pass out, like you're almost going to black out, but you don't. And then you're like, your head is like almost like floating or whatever, like it's like not there, like you're confused and dazed. And then you get the fear of you don't know where you're at. And then you get the fear of something's trying to get you all at once. And it's overwhelming or whatever because the only way that I found out that you can try to somewhat come out of it or whatever is you literally got to take a knee or you literally got to sit there for us to stand there for a second and calm yourself down and get yourself together to figure out exactly where you're at and keep yourself like stay calm, like don't panic. See, a lot of people will panic, and they say that it's how certain entities or whatever in the woods get you or whatever because they get you all days confused. Like if you guys watch a lot of Bigfoot stories and all that, they say, oh, the person was wandering for a week or 3 days or something, and all of a sudden they walked out to the road in front of somebody, and the person stopped, and then hey, it's almost like you see a ghost or something, like you just freak out. So you get zapped or whatever, it's kind of like that. But the thing is I got a medicine bag, and I thought, I forgot it at home, and I was like, well, I'm already here, so I'm just going to do the investigation. Well, I can tell you this: if I go to another active spot and I don't have my medicine bag, I'm not going in because I went in without it, thinking, "Oh, I'll just go ahead and just do this real quick for the team or whatever, and do this night hunt." Well, I got in there or whatever, and I got zapped again, and I said, "Never again will I go in without my bag." And Mama says, "Well, I'll do a prayer for you or whatever, but you should have your bag." And even with the prayer or whatever, they still got me. So now that I have my medicine bag when I go in and all that, I don't get zapped now. I've had burn marks on my bag. I've showed them to people. I've had burn marks. I've had a scratch on my bag. And Halloween, my bag got cut off of my neck. Like I showed Mama, it was like a straight cut. Like so on Halloween, I was taking the family home or whatever after trick or they come here after trick or treat and all that, and I took them home. And I was driving back from across town or whatever, and I got over to here, and my wife goes, your bag is that your bag or whatever? And I'm like, what do you mean? And then luckily I was still in the vehicle or whatever, but it had fell down or whatever. And when I looked at it, it was cut. So I think that's what happened to MT Paranormal or whatever when he was out or whatever, and entity snipped his bag or whatever, and he didn't feel it because I didn't feel it either. So, but when I'm in the woods, I'm always grabbing my bag, checking for my bag, and I'm always and when you get like you feel like you're getting zapped or you're getting overwhelmed or something scaring you or whatever, just smell your bag, take a second, even if you have to take a knee and just calm yourself down and continue your investigation.
uh, chew on a hard candy, and if you feel that you are fully confused and you've been walking in circles, and then you've been zapped. So again, take a bite of your bear root. I put a big bear root that should last you for a long time. And don't be like, I know 3 people have done this. They opened their bag, smell it, and you can smell the bear root from it too, and you could smell the other. Now the bear root, see me, I eat mine, and you take a
I don't
bite.
take mine out of this bag. I take mine out of the bag.
Um,
I don't
other
get in
people,
this bag.
other people had asked me, well, how can I order some, or can it? Well, if you need something, I'll mail it to you. If you don't want to open your bag and leave that one, I can also mail you another one.
She did that for me. Big one. And it's in my other bag.
I do what I got to do, protect my people, my family, and that even means the one in this community. Those who has purchased a protection medicine bag, I'm always going to feel you. I'm going to make sure you're protected. And that's what I want. I want, no matter if it's a healing bag, if you have panic attacks, anxiety, you can hold that bag and smell it, and it's to help your body heal. That too. I want you to remember too that if you are watching so many different shows and or from different channels, how the Bigfoots are, and then you've seen and you're planning it in your mind, and then you are putting a stamp hard in your mind that it's there, and then you're like actually think something's here, or you're making yourself get more wound up. Don't do that.
Yep.
Do not do, because your mind is never going to rest.
If you're
You're
going in the
you're
woods though, and you're feeling that fear, you should just back out.
right. Um, Robin Smith says, when I was younger, I had a dream all the time about a satanga at a certain age, and I stopped having that dream. Now I'm older, that it's all looked for. Um, when you've been around a satanga when you were little, it's always an imprint in in your mind. It'll never go away. It will always be there until you start thinking of it again. Then that dream, that vision, or what you thought you might saw is still coming back. And then as you're older, as an adult, it's there. But you got to remember too. Now, my uncle, so like the one I was just talking about earlier, he had an encounter 3 times with 3 different satangas, and he was scared. He didn't have his bag. He told me, he goes, I was young. I was only 17. We were just walking to get drunk in the woods. Well, in Blackfoot Res, our mountains are very wild. They said they saw something really big with little
Mm-hmm.
horns, and
Mm-hmm.
and
A
he
lot of
was
crazy
saying
stuff.
we didn't know what it was. We kept drinking and going up to it, and all you hear the
Indigo. Hey, that's a
Yeah,
big deer. Let's follow it.
it scared them. And it stood up tall all of a sudden, and they're like, oh my God, and ran.
Indigo. Indigo.
So when they approached and spoke to my grandmother and said it has
What's that
happened,
picture?
and she says, you ran into a window, you are trying to communicate with them. So she grabbed all four boys, sat them down on the table, and we get, it's like a rosemary and the mint plants, tie them together, and like you're not beating them, but uh,
You have one of that.
I don't know how to say in
It's kind
English.
of like you're like, yeah, you're tapping them, whatever. Like it's kind of like what you see
Yes,
in the movies or whatever
we're
when they're
tapping
blessing the
them
person.
to get whatever is lingering that's attached to them, because you do not want it bringing into the home. But my grandmother did, and my grandmother, she had everything. She, after that, she smudged them, and then she says, "Here, swallow this." And he says, "I don't know what she told us to swallow," but that night, they were able to sleep, and he's like, "Well, she tells him, what are you doing drinking?" But everybody does it, right?
I
Everybody
wanted to
drinks.
do it too. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go out and do a hunt, whatever. Drunk. She's like, No, you're not.
You'd be surprised. But it is kind of scary, if you're especially drinking, letting your mind wander.
Well, out of that, I get more gutsy, like
Right.
brave, whatever when I'm drinking. So I think I'm like a warrior.
OCST, Harold and Christy, in case, in my case, it felt like I was not alone. Felt sick and lightheaded. Also had a voice on my head telling me to stop and turn and run away. The sickness felt after I did all that, I was told. Well, it could be a Satanga telling you to leave, because there could be something else. I also feel that when it spoke, but you were running from something that was big and dark, very heavy. So I believe that you had already carried a Satanga with you. Um, must go into imprint. Okay. Jackie says, I've had many dreams of our furry friends since I was young. That's because they have come, one of them has imprinted in you already. Sparky says, purify them. Now, when things you're not positive about, and you want to continue how um, negativity come on you, if you do not have the strength, then don't go in the woods. You can have your cross on, you're going to have a rosemary, you can have your protection bags, and you go on. That negativity or whatever it is going to say, try to still come and get at you, because you're in their territory. And I always say, you want to go and visit any place on Mother Earth, tell yourself, I am brave, I am calm, I want to enjoy what is there out there. I'm not looking to harm anything or do anything bad, but I am here just to investigate. Now, many people ask me, well, why do we have to wear a protection medicine bag? Okay, well, don't worry. And I understand you, our Father, the Creator, is Jesus Christ. So I'm not marking him, believe me, because I speak to him every day. But I'm saying, if that protection that you have a cross only around your neck, then you better hold on tight and keep praying and running. So how are you going to do that both? But the protection bag is the full figure of your whole body of the outside. And you're gonna come up to a satanga and they're gonna see it. They're gonna recognize, oh, that has something sacred. The
That's true.
evil, they are want to try to fight it, try to get, but it's the sacred
Front
that's
line.
inside your bag. And what I do is I pray so deeply and hard on it. And not just me, sometimes my other council members come here and we pray on it. I ask them, come on, let's pray for this person on this bag because they have a channel and they investigate out there and I want them protected from whatever it is. Whatever is in their area. Doesn't matter if it's an it or a wingalo or something evil.
Demonic demons, whatever. Telling you,
Even
they work
star
100.
people. Bob and Manny says, I've had times when a Sasquatch people tell me not to go into the forest and they will tell me when it was safe. Yes, they do. They will tell you in your mind, in your sleep the following day or the day before you start. They will tell you. If you have been imprinted already when you were young, you're marked. Another Satanga will notice that, especially if it's a higher rank than he is. The reason why I say higher rank because then there's will start from a juvenile as they grow up. But again, who are we really trying to understand what they're saying or what we believe we hear? Now, if it comes to your dreams, do you believe in your dreams? Do they act out in person? Yes. When you're having a nightmare, is it the same thing of a dream that you've had that's like attacking? Or is it your mind playing a game? Say you're watching TV and all of a sudden something, um, they're talking about star people and other cryptid, and you're like, wow, would this really happen? And then you go to bed. That's an imprint already. And your mind is as you're asleep, it's going and it's going to when your memory breaks, trying to see if it matches something. Then you get yourself all hyped up in your sleep. Then when you wake up and you're like, oh my God, this happened. So you have to really understand what it is. But again, when you're out in the woods, they're going to feel your whole emotions.
That's true.
And if you're not understanding what you're feeling, I advise don't go into the field if you're not gonna able to be calm and to have your mind all scrambled. Because then they're gonna say, "Oh, we have a predator to get to. Let's pride on this." I
Kind of like a
guarantee.
dog, whenever when you're sad, it knows you're sad. It comes up and nudges you and tries to make you feel better, love on you.
Um, Carol says, "Yes, that next week I've been back. The spot I found a handprint of a Bigfoot chasing a mountain lion in direct I stood that day. That was my first time in doing my investigation film. You'll be surprised what you see the Satangas do. In the summertime, it comes in handy for distance when it's hot outside. Okay. Henry says the imprint lasts forever. Yes, it does. So I marked what should expect. Yes, but you remember when the first time you had encounters, and if you are eyes locked on, you're marked. And that clan will stick with you even if you move to a different state.
They follow you. They move with you.
It follows you.
You go to other parts of the world, other clans. They go
And
with you
it,
until
and it,
the
it
end
will fight with other clans to get in the clan with you
to be there
because
with
this
you.
is how they make family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they take the females to make this clan. It has been over a million times continuing on.
Tell them, Mama.
I had that feeling before, but it was in my youth when I dealt paranormal and entities. Dealing with paranormal, then you really need to pay attention because um, opening portals. Because remember, I told you, and you had like I was teaching Mike, and he had the VIP on, and can you tell me who's here? You have to remember you're opening that portal, allowing for whatever to come through. And you're not gonna see it could be an orb. And I've seen many orbs come out when he was out there, and I kept telling him, you need to be careful. If you're doing it every day, it takes a toll on you. You have to give your eyes,
It
your
drains
mind,
your
and your
body
heart a
physically.
break. If you're gonna do it 3 times a week, I advise you to drink orange juice, not an energy drink, orange juice, fresh orange juice, and rest. Take a hot shower, hot bath, and then go to your bed, close your eyes, have your room dark, say your prayers, and rest because that entity will stay with you and it's attached to you no matter what. Unless you're going to need me or another medicine man to come and heal you completely around and take it out. Go to your inside your home and take it out. And believe me, I've done it.
How many times have I called you to do that for me? Take spirits and entities out of here because I go out and do these Sasquatch hunts, guys, and I'm telling you, it drains you and you're down for 2 or 3 days, tired and drains all your equipment, your batteries, everything. And then that's why a lot of times I don't go out all the time. Everybody gets mad. Well, how come you're not going out all the time no more? It's because now it's physically draining your body and everything. So
Yep. No worries, Henry. I've always told you I'm here. I'm always here. If people need to ask a question, I put my emails out. Message me on Messenger, or come to my chat room and say, "Hey, I would like to have a private conversation." And then we go to a private conversation between you and I. If you need to understand something,
and that woman will keep everything private too. She doesn't share it. If you tell her not to, she won't share it.
no,
She's like, I got pictures or whatever, and then I don't ever get to see them because she says, well, they're private. They won't let me share them.
I have shared
So she won't share.
pictures, but I will not continue. I might show you once, and that's it. Because I gave my word to many clans, all the Sathangas. I might show once to a person, but I will not show again, and I'll keep my word that is in my heart, in my mind, and I will not. Because other Sathangas are going to know, oh, you went beyond. You are a threat. I don't want that. I want to keep solid. Now, I was a young girl when I got to see it, and I wasn't scared. I was excited. I mean, I was jumping. I'm like, thank you. I will carry on. I will continue doing my medicine, and I will continue in your word.
The ones
I
in
will
her
do
spot
my
are big.
best.
They're big, big Sasquatches. Up there in the
They're
mountains where she's at, they're big.
no, they're
She showed
fun.
me a couple pictures, and they're big.
They're very, very big. My husband, when he went back to the res with me one year, and he said, "I want to go with you," and he
All
was
that thing is,
scared.
I'm out of
He
here.
was
You stay
he
up
was
there.
scared. He goes,
Every
"No,
time she
I
tells
ain't
me,
going up." He goes, "This little lantern, we're gonna go up with just one little lantern?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Uh-uh."
Songa did it with a lantern.
I did. I did for many years. That's how I did it. And I didn't. I have flashlights in the back in case it went out and had no more kerosene and we would go down or no more oil. So I was like, okay,
They
sit
don't
here.
drain the kerosene and oil out the lanterns.
Mm-mm.
That's why I always thought about doing the lantern hunts. But the thing is, doing the lantern hunts is they burn you and then they get annoying. You can't really see that much because it doesn't light up for people on the channel or whatever. So that's why I went back to the flashlights. But the lanterns, they don't die.
Pearl says, those eyes, I will never forget her looking into my eyes, the feeling of a mutual respect of her as we just looked at each other, and it was powerful. And I told you that she's still there, and she knows you have a woman, but she is very, believe me, the females, if you have locked eyes, they're very fond of you and they will take care of you. It's like their own clan. Now I've
Exactly.
mentioned to you many things when I was on on your channel, on your live, and I tell you what I saw. Have I been right or wrong from telling you from what I saw or what you have seen? And again, I'm in a different state and I'm always right. I try to help those who understand. There's something to the left of you and it's about 8 feet high and it's right above the tree. And people sometimes say they'll look up and I don't see anything. What are you seeing? But when the people take pictures of it and it's actually there.
True.
But as I say, things sometimes are different and people don't quite have that trust in me, and that's fine. By the way, Mama Bear Claw, thank you for taking the time to responding in such details to my emails. Of course, you're most welcome. Like I said, I'm always there to read email and help you many ways. Soundwave. Why UFOs and Bigfoots are have orb relation to them, also cloaking with the UFO, because the star people in their plan, that's what they do to someone is trying to invade their area. Bigfoots do it because they don't trust people, humans.
Ghosts. They're there 1 second, they're gone the next. That's cloaking.
Sparky says, I think many of the orbs are spirits. They are. They very much are. Um, He says, I use a oil lamp. Yep,
Too.
I do. Both of my close sights was not scared at all, but I finished walking my dog and went inside. We watched it leave. Then you'd be surprised. They start from the beginning of watching you come out of your door and then walk with you wherever you go and then walk back. It would either be the Satanga or it'd be the dog man. Now they're saying, like I mentioned yesterday, they said, oh, a female dog? Yes, there is. How do you think
How does it
they
reproduce?
exist? I try to give
Like,
you the answers. Now, I've learned from listening to my elders when I was 5 years old, listening to our chief, listening to the next commanders. the board members. Then when I was 19, 20, a council member and an elder, then from there I had to be serious to do the late work, to do the medicine that I was taught, and to teach. Now, mind you, I continue doing the same things I am now at 63. But it's like people don't trust or understand or see what I'm saying or hear what I'm saying, and that's fine. If you don't care to, as I say, you can go listen to someone else that likes to fake things, fake everything. I'm not like that. I have put my feet on the ground and do all the investigations. I've done it. My husband follows sometimes and he'll stay back, go to the casino or sleep. But not all the time does he come with me and investigate up in the forts. He says, "No, I don't know how you are not scared. I'm not." It's like he tells me, he goes, "You're not afraid of a man either." And I know that. I'm not afraid of a man. I love taking men's challenges because they don't like to see the woman have the power up as them. But it shouldn't be like that. It should be equal, wanting to understand and work together and understand the investigation of it. Or not understanding or taking my advice and say, "Oh, that lady's, she's crazy,"
There's
with
women
other
out there
bad
that
words. But I
they
have
crazy as
very
men.
true and been telling what is around, because I'll be sitting in the tree as you're investigating. In many different channels, I've done this. I'll be sitting on the branch and there's a satanga and I'm having a communication with that satanga. Why are you trying to confuse them? Because they're too close to a boundary where the juveniles are. And that is very
True.
fact truth.
True.
Henry says both of the closest men are silent, not scared. And like I said, they will continue. I have noticed they ignore the warnings. Yes, because our warnings are not powerful. You are right. You have mentioned things I've told no one when you have spoken to me. Yes. And it's just what I was sent to do. And this is when I help channels or I had sponsors the person on that channel to be my child, and I'm teaching along the way. And if you don't listen to what I say as my sponsored child and you just connect for me and continue on, then I hope you learn and able to get the understanding of many things, but other doing other stuff to get more information, that's just that's you. That's not my fault. But all the ones I've helped, oh geez, over 500 I can say, and 1,000 actually, and I still have 500 that do connect with me still. Um, did Star people teach Bigfoot? No. They like watching me walk my dog. They have made contact with her and she respects them. The Bigfoot comes around. Yeah, see, this is what I don't like because they say
I knew she was gonna do it. I said thinking the same thing.
many channels go and say, or
It ain't my
professors,
dog.
scientists,
Oh my god.
they took my dog and ate it.
I knew she was gonna. I hate that too when I'm watching it. Like
No,
these people, when they stop with
they
this stuff,
take your dog to play with it and
they'll
to
take it as a
talk,
pet,
mhm, and talk with it. They
not to
bring it
eat
for
it,
their young, the juveniles,
not to
to
kill
play
it.
around because the juveniles are really small, the babies.
It
So it's
sets
the
the
same
collar off so
thing.
you don't hear it moving around. You don't eat it. That's why you never find a body of a dog when it gets snatched.
Bob says, where do Bigfoot come from? The creator? Where the creator brings many things to this earth beyond for one before we have been. So they were close to the giants and had run with the giants and the dogs. So over the many billions of years come in, and now they're like coming out. Every so often they come out. It's gonna die out probably in a couple of years. It will die down, and people are really not gonna hear anything, and because doing so much investigation in that area, they get tired of it, so they move.
Mhm.
They don't always stay in your areas. And if they're not in your areas, then it's the star people that are watching and that are in your area. And the Satangas have moved their whole clan
Mhm.
down more in the valley, down over another hill or another state.
Yep.
It's like a rotation. The earth, Mother Earth moves, right? The same thing with them.
So Bigfoots come from their own dimension into our dimension.
They have always been strong. I have read that they are from the star system.
Right?
Many
So
people say they
Bigfoot
have.
ain't aliens. They're not star people. They're their own people, their own clan.
I'm. This is my opinion. I'm tired of other channels and scientists saying that, oh, the star people made the Sapangas.
Mhm.
More money for you to open your mouth and talk, that's fine. But honestly, no. I can
It's like
bring
I'm tired of people with
another
6 toe
elder.
stuff.
I can bring another elder in here and say the same thing. So many times when Bigfoot was around, when I was in Washington, I would find werewolf tracks. One time I had a wolf just sitting and watching after I was told to leave by a rock thrown. Then the rock thrown could be that the dogman had. Now, the dogman will throw rocks and sticks also. But they play with the wolves, the fox. They do communicate with many different animals just as well as the Bigfoots do. Gotcha. Of course, any time to ask. Let's see. I always wonder if maybe some of the Yetis came across the land, Asia and Alaska. Yes, they've been here. They have.
I have
This
heard
is
one, but
they have a community that they all get together. They have an elder, like I've been saying. People say you're crazy. There's no such thing. You're like no. They have a shaman. They have a medicine man or woman in their dog man, and they'll tell you we need to go here to meet and have a community. Who is coming here to take one to go back? And it's always been that way for many years.
and you can tell the medicine man because he always has the necklace or whatever with bones on it and all that.
He carries a stick,
Yep.
and you can see his uh, medallions on him, and they'll have like many either teeth, skulls, different bones, and stuff like that.
Yep.
I have always been very excited and always wanted to meet one of the higher uppers to communicate. They told me it would be in another lifetime. I said, okay, I'm ready for that. And I communicate with my 4 clans. Now I'm planning to go back east in April, the end of April. And I am going to stop in Michigan. I'm going to stop in New Jersey. And I'm going to stop maybe in Ohio. Because I felt something there in Ohio. And I want to go and check something out. I did communicate with the clan there when I did help a child. And I told that Satanga, I'll come back as a physical human. And I would like to greet with you to communicate as I'm sitting here. See me on the tree sitting, but actually humanized. So, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, Jack, he finds good prints.
And plus I wanted to stop in PA. There's several areas there that I had managed to speak with different clans there too. Now there is a female clan that I'm interested because of how she is thinking of my bestie. And I'm really curious, how many clans is there? Because I was told that there are more than 3 there. And New York is a very big state. They have forestries there. So it'd be interesting. He says, I know for a fact Bigfoot runs with other creatures. I've had one encounter come around my tent, and it had a coyote circle the tent to block down next to the top. You know what? Then that's where they're trying to see who and what you are. If you're fully trusted to be out with the satangas to communicate, or are you bringing harm?
I tell people that all the time that the Bigfoots use all the creatures of the woods or whatever to hang out with and spy.
When the Bigfoots finished circling my tent, the coyote got up and left with it. Yes. Let's see. Some may say I also seen a coyote in my Bigfoot area in early mornings. Only one. Excuse me. It could be that it is scouting the area, because a coyote or a wolf would communicate with the dog man. And if they go beyond before them, because a satanga will be here and they chit chat to communicate, and then they go on. And then if they happen to go and observe that area and seeing there's a coyote, then it goes off and it'll tell, oh, and then you'll hear the oh, or
and then you hear the owl and they all shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it mimics coyote, and then they all stop.
I believe there are over 600 million acres in the Upper Mountains. You know what? There is a little bit more than that.
They use foxes too, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
My house.
I said the coyote was. There's plenty of things that Satanga would use for you to get your eyes off them so they can move.
I showed Joshua whatever, he posted a video in his hotspot in PA. there's a deer, and if you look at the deer on this, right when you first come into this video, there's three slashes on the side of the deer. He didn't even notice it. I'm like, dude, that deer's marked by a Suntunga. He's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, that just shows you that's their deer. They had three slice marks on the side of the deer.
They don't always they don't always eat the deer, only certain times. And when they do feast on the deer, they share it with the amongst the whole plant. And then you'll see a half a deer. And they leave it that all that they leave it for the next predator to eat it. So, all right. I have been on for an hour and 45 minutes. I hope everybody, thank you, Sangha. You surprised me. I wasn't really expecting anybody because I think everybody was kind of like, I try to go on StreamYard for people to come on and introduce themselves and give a vision of their sighting or story or ask me in person like this, questions. So, okay. Ramona, Maddie is wishing you live in your area. Ah, Maddie, your package had just left. There's some goodies there for you. Soundwave, let's do this one more time. Would the Bigfoot be upset that we learned so much about them before meeting them? No, no. I have asked that question. I've mentioned in quite a few of my videos too. No, they don't. But they also don't like to be how do you say, roughed, you know, pushed. Don't aggravate them. Don't they don't really like to be really disturbed. If you want to have a communication with them, sit and meditate before you go out and do your desires of scouting. You know, speak to your mind, allow your mind to be calm and rested, but speak calmly. I'm here to, see what you are about, but I'm not trying to bring no harm. Because believe me, there's Santangas in every state. There could be more than 5 clans, maybe 3 clans. It depends on them because they do travel.
I like to
Uh,
do when I do Bigfoots or whatever. I like to have an open mind or whatever and go in there because if you follow other channels, listen to other people or whatever, you're already getting an invitation of what you think they are. But if you go out there and
correct.
you do your own investigation, hang out with them, keep your mind clear, and learn stuff on your own, then you learn more about
Thank you. Hi, hi. Thank you for everyone for joining me. And please have a pleasant day. Many blessings to you all. And would the Bigfoots be upset that we are learning much more? No. I think, excuse me, I answered that.
it.
Okay. All right, everyone. Please have a good afternoon or good evening in your area. I do want, let me do some shout outs so that way it's a courtesy. Thank you, Sunway, for joining. Sparky, thank you. Bob and Maddie, most graceful blessings. Henry, JP, thank you. OCST, thank you very much. Sparky, Jackie, Henry, thank you so much. Robin, thank you so much. And Soundwave, I might have mentioned a couple more already. And those who are new, thank you for coming in. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm almost to the 500. I can't believe it.
John T.
Yes, John. Thank you so much for listening and joining me in some uh, surprise me for real for being on here. I do ask other channels to come on, but I'm not gonna. I will if I'm alive and I'm on live stream. Come on in. Don't be afraid. We can communicate like this, and we can talk about stangas. We can talk about any cryptid or medicine. Those who want to know about medicine, I can give you some ingredients too. Um, Protection medicine bags, my beaded earrings that I do, and again, I hype. I will keep my prayers in you all, and I will continue being who I am. Elder Medicine Bear Claw, strong woman, stand tall, and continue on. So thank you again, everyone, and many blessings. Be kind to yourself. Most important, love yourself. And remember, look in the mirror and tell yourself, hello, how are you? Good morning. Because you have to love yourself before you can do anything else. All right. Thank you, everyone. Sangha, thank you for surprising me. I appreciate that, son. All right, everyone. Bye bye.